For tonight's meeting agenda, we'll start off as normal with our flag salute, a few announcements. Then Byron Waney will introduce our new zone leader from the Sheriff's Department, and we can get a little bit of information and find out exactly what is going on. Then Tom Clark is here to talk about the project at Sand Canyon and Soledad. It would be on the northwest corner. It's where the mobile home is. Excuse me? Northeast corner. You're right. I just had the wrong east or west. At the northeast corner, it's where the mobile home park is, and it looks like it's going to be a really great project. So you'll hear about it from Tom. Then we're going to talk about water conservation and the governor's executive order, because the governor's executive order is going to change the way we do a lot of things if the drought continues. And we'll talk about what it is, what the governor's executive order says we have to do, and what kind of an impact it makes on the actual problem itself. Then we'll go through and we'll talk about some of the other things that are happening in Santa Clarita. We'll give you an update on what happened at the last two sanitation district meetings. We'll talk a little bit about high-speed rail and the emergency meeting that the mayor has arranged. What's going on with the mobile home rental ordinance and the medians. We talked about medians on Soledad Canyon between Sand Canyon and Shadow Pines, and we had some commitments, and we'll tell you exactly where they are. Now, every year we hold elections at the Canyon Country Advisory Committee for Officers. So tonight we'll take nominations for offices, and then we'll accept nominations from now until the next meeting, and we'll have elections at the next meeting. Lastly is our version of public participation, which is the first 5 people that want to say anything. They get a minute to come on up and talk about whatever it is that's on their mind. We'll do a preview of the next few meetings. We're going to have some interesting stuff coming up, and we'll adjourn promptly at or before 9 o'clock. So just want to remind everybody that today is that day. It's tax day. And when we always talk about who is the heroes of our country, today it's you, because you're the one that finances it. And so I just wanted to make sure to remind everybody that if they haven't turned their taxes in, you can do it before midnight. So with that, Judy, would you lead us in the pledge? To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Just a few announcements really quick. I just want to let you know that every now and then I do something besides this. And I went to Arizona Bike Week last month, and I decided that Santa Clarita needs a fairgrounds. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on and in Arizona at that fairgrounds, and they have a lot of money flowing into the area. So maybe one of the things we should suggest is a fairgrounds. The high-speed rail. We have the mayor has called an emergency high-speed rail meeting. She wants to get virtually thousands of people, I don't know whether we get thousands of people at Canyon High School, to tell the high-speed rail folks what we think of the idea of high-speed rail coming through Santa Clarita. And we all pretty much think the same thing, right? So this has been arranged. If you notice that the last few meetings that we've gone to on high-speed rail have been the kind of meetings where, what do? We walk in, and there's stuff set up around the room, and you get to walk around and talk to people, and you say, well, where do I put in my complaint? And they go, no, write it down. And then we could ignore it like we do all the other comments. So this time, I'm sure, I heard that both Mayor McLean and Tim Van Boysen are going to have something to say, and then we're going to give the public something to say, and we need to tell everybody what we think of the idea of having a high-speed rail route from Burbank to the Antelope Valley that goes right through Sand Canyon and parallels Highway 14.
What time does that meeting start on?
7 o'clock.
Thank you.
And you should have received one of these in the mail. So it is 7 o'clock on the 27th at Canyon High School. We're going to have coming up on May the 7th in downtown Newhall, we're going to have Art Slam. And so it should be a lot of fun. They're going to have some world-renowned artists there. And so from 6 to 10 on Main Street on Thursday, May the 7th, it'll be a good opportunity to have a good time. Also, we've talked about it before. I've got the flyer here, but it's the Main Street Car Show, and it's on June the 28th from 9 to 2. So if you have a pre-1975 car that you are really interested in showing off, that would be a great time to do it. Has everybody received their state of the city? You know, lots of things, lots of different activities that were in there, and along with some information from the city manager and from who else? City manager and Roosevelt Johnson. He was right in there as well. So if you haven't got it, let me know, and I'll get you one, and we can have a good time. Cowboy Festival, as you know, is starting this weekend. So it's starting today, April 15th to the 19th. It's going to be at William S. Hart Park. We've talked about it for the last couple of months, and it's going to be in a new venue. And let's just see how it goes. Should be a good, fun time. Looking at our attendance was pretty average last month. And we also looked at video statistics as usual. And this time, the top-rated video had 138 views, and it was the discussion about deep well injection. So that didn't come as much of a surprise, but people are watching it. And again, we track what people watch and what people don't, so we can try to get things here that you're interested in. Okay, this is 2015. We need some nominations for officers. So Mr. Drew our Board of Directors President, will take care of that.
We need nominations for chair, co-chair, and secretary of the Canyon Country Advisory Committee. It's in the bylaws that we do it this month. We'll have the election next month. We'll also have more nominations if there are any. So the nominations are open for chair. Do I have any nominations?
I'll nominate Alan Ferdman.
Okay, we have a nomination for Alan Ferdman. Are there any other nominations for chair?
I'll nominate Drew What's-His-Face.
Drew What's-His-Face. Who's that? Who's that? You. Oh, Rick Drew? Okay, we have nominations for chair of Alan Ferdman and Rick Drew. Any others? The election will be next month. The nominations are now closed until next month. Nominations for co-chair. Judy? We have nomination for co-chair of Richard Cardenas. Any others? Okay. And Mike Cruz for co-chair. Okay, we have a nomination of Richard Cardenas and Mike Cruz. Any others? Okay, those nominations will be closed until next month, and we'll have reopen the nominations, and we'll have an election. Anybody nominated for secretary? Judy Tallur. Okay, we have a nomination of Judy Tallur for secretary. Any others? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the nominations till next month. At the end of the next meeting, we'll have nominations and then the elections for the chair. Right now we have Alan Ferdman and Rick Drew nominated for chair. We have Richard Cardenas nominated for co-chair, and we have Judy Tallur nominated for secretary. Oh, and Mike Cruz, I'm sorry, for co-chair also. And, one other thing, I wanted to bring up one other thing. Tonight, I pre-advertised that we were going to have another developer here. He was supposed to have been here. There's another project going on in Canyon Country. It'll be at the top of Shadow Pines in Tick Canyon. The developer said that the project's name will be Park Place. There's 492 homes going in up at the top of Shadow Pines on an average lot size of 5,000 square feet. We had invited them here for April, and up until a couple weeks ago, they had agreed. Then 2 weeks ago, I got an email that they decided to postpone their presentation until closer to when they break ground. They're supposed to be breaking ground in 2016. Their project was okayed in the county back in 2008, I believe it is. So they've already had the approval and all that. I did ask him to come and just talk to us. He says we don't need a public hearing. I said, well, we're not having a public hearing. The people would be interested. So hopefully in January or February, we will have the people, it's Synergy Development, I believe the name of the company is, about the Park Place development, which will be going in at the top of Shadow Pines. They're going to extend Shadow Pines Boulevard from Floribunda, which is at the very top, to Davenport Road, which will be, is the road that comes out of Agua Dulce. But anyway, so, I apologize that they weren't here this week, but they'll be here in January or February.
All right, well, here's some coming attractions, and that's what I thought was on the phone in voicemail, but it wasn't. Next month, we'll go through the Shangri-La dewatering agreement. And we'll show you what it was, and we'll discuss the different aspects of the agreements that the city made with the Regional Water Board in this process. Understand, when someone says to us, we have been fined, we have not. This thing never came in front of the Regional Water Board. It was never voted on it. We just agreed to pay it. And I'll let you decide on your own why we did that. Also, I thought that on the phone I had a voicemail from Mr. Leafdale. He is going to bring to us a guest to talk about railroads and the kind of the equivalent of Sheriff's Department, the law enforcement activities that the railroads go through. And in part, it'll deal in public safety and what they do to prevent accidents. And in part, it'll deal with how they make sure that what's going on the railroads is up and above board. Other items of interest we still keep putting off is business improvement districts. And I'm doing research on what are called dewatering districts, because there evidently is something called, they're called dewatering districts. So I can get an idea of actually who's paying in Shangri-La. We'll go through Santa Clarita crime statistics. I know the sheriffs were here, but as if you might have read the Signal article, it talks about the fact that in overall crimes are down, but then it did talk about in areas where crimes are up. And as we always, whenever we dissect these crime statistics, we don't do it quite the same way that the Sheriff's Department does or the city does. We don't count every kind of a crime to be equal. So we look at what areas go up and what areas go down, because you know what, if, I don't know, if some minor crime goes down by a bunch, but some major crime goes up by a little, it still seems to me that it does not offset one another, and we need to understand exactly what that is. So we may go through that as well. Anyway, it happens to be 9 o'clock. I don't understand how that happened so quickly, but I'd like to thank all of you for choosing to visit the Canyon Country Advisory Committee, and I hope that we'll see you again back here next month. Thank you.